I wish I could talk about this in a separate message because I had like so many points I needed to make.
Just like
I had to cut some out. Everything to, like cram into 10 minutes or whatever. But well, Kathy said we're going to be building a church, and she said that my point's going to be how to build in your personal life, because I believe that when we're building a church, the most important thing is yourself. You have to, So I want you all to start off kind of like pretending that you're all windows for a moment. You know windows? Like, okay. I want you to pretend that all people in Helensburgh, all the people that we want to reach out to in the community are inside a dark house. We're the windows, okay? And I want you to imagine now that God is this light outside this house. As windows, or Christians, we want to show the people inside the dark house God's light outside. That's our duty. God instructs us to give ourselves entirely to Him. As windows, we must fully devote ourselves to showing the people the light outside. But a lot of the time, our life doesn't revolve around God and His commands. Like, you guys can relate to me here. Let's look in like Matthew 7 verse 21. It says, "Not everyone who says, 'Lord, Lord,' shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but only those who do the will of my Father in heaven." So to break this verse down, this is what Jesus was saying. Not everyone who says, "I'm a Christian," is going to enter the kingdom of heaven. Only those who have God in the centre of their lives. I believe that is a really challenging verse. Like, have any one of you in this building said, "Yeah, I'm a Christian"? Yes. I know I have, like I've said it. But when like you said it, did you actually have God in the centre of your life, like as number one, before everything else? This is like in front of money, family, friends, your house, your job, yourself, like in front of your own personal needs, and like, you know, in front of food and everything. For someone of Italian descent, that's like a big thing. But Jesus is asking in Matthew 7 verse 21 to have us in His life, to have Him in our lives. And so like, let's go back to that window theory, us as windows. Okay, so our duty as a window, to show people inside the house God's light. This is our purpose, so like, this is our duty, show the light, show the light, show the light. We have to show these people the light. Our windows can easily be smudged. And it's like, oh, I've got a party on this Sunday, I won't be able to go to church. It's like a little smudge, just a tiny little smudge on the window. Okay? And you're just like, don't worry, it's not going to block that much light. It's a tiny little smudge. People can still see. You're like, God, I don't really care. It's like, no, it's okay to swear. Everyone does it. It's like, ooh, more little smudges kind of all over the window there. So it's like, don't worry, the light can still get through. You can still kind of, you know, go around with little smudges or whatever. It's like, well, it's okay to, you know, like, let go every now and again, just get a little drunk and, you know, get a little smash at the party. Life's about having fun. It's like, yeah. And it's like, oops, there goes my window. It's just covered in dirt. And so you're thinking, oh, great. Well, what does a Christian do? Oh, I've got it. I put extra in the offering. Yeah. There we go. I'm a better Christian now. Woo! Like, and then you go, oh, I helped a little old lady across the road. It's okay that I swear, I help old people. There we go. I'm awesome. And then you go, oh, I told someone that I'm a follower of Christ today. I mean, wow. I'm like the best Christian. Jesus is going to be so proud. Doesn't really care that I'm missing out that Sunday or whatever. He's going to be just like, yeah, I told someone I'm a Christian. But doing these little Christian-y things does not make up a Christian. Doing these little Christian-y things only smears the dirt even more across the window. It's not taking it away, it's just smearing it. It's making them more, you know, what's the word, pronounced? Like, you can see them a lot more when you do these Christian-y acts. It's like, It's thinner, you might smear it across and it looks thinner, but it's still there and it's scarring God's light. These people inside the house are not seeing God's light perfectly. They're seeing this dirt across it. So, for example, you love your wife, you have a relationship, so you do not go feeding that relationship poison. Relationships just don't work that way. If you love someone, you don't go and punch them in the face. If you did that marriage is going to only last as long as that Kim Kardashian girl on TV. Doing those Christian-y things is only going to give false hope to the unbelievers. So this is from an unbeliever's point of view. They're looking at someone and they're like, wow, look at the way she talks about her mother behind her mother's back. And she says she's a Christian. Well, she can do it. Jesus mustn't be that bothered. I can do it. And I don't think Jesus won't really care. I'm going to still get into heaven. It just can be so misleading. It can steer them completely off track. So they go, oh wow, isn't that guy a Christian? He is swearing quite a bit there. Well, I guess he's got Jesus in his life, and Jesus must have, sworn a bit too, and he was walk around there, whatever. So it's oh wow, look at the way that Christian guy there's talking about his boss. Guess I can too. It's hard to keep our windows clean from these little factors in our life, but Jesus requests it, and for a really good reason. He wants us to get into heaven. He wants Helensburgh, all of us, to spend eternity with him. In Matthew 7 verse 21, he was not writing us out you don't have to send that, good, to heaven. He just doesn't want us to scar his light. He doesn't want us to ruin his light. Do you jog in a 100-metre sprint? You're not going to get the trophy that way. You're just walking the race when everyone else is tearing ahead. You're not going to get the trophy. The purpose of a Christian is to have God as number one, to reach out to God. I know that someone once said the word Christian is just a name, a title to us, given to us by non-believers. Non-believers call us Christians somewhere in history. But God doesn't care what you're called. He just wants to have a relationship with you. So, do you think it's good to put fertilizer around a tree but not water the roots? It's no, you're not going to get any fruit. Do you think it's good to disobey God's commands in the Bible but balance them out with good Christian acts? It's not going to work. It's just going to make it worse. A lot of people say, well, listen, doing something. It's you're missing the point. Has anybody heard the book Crazy Love by Francis Chan? That book is the best. I seriously recommend it. It's amazing. He made a really good point when he said that God doesn't deserve the scraps of our lives, and we tend to do that a lot. We tend to go, keep this for myself here, have what's left over. It's like buying your wife a $2 plastic ring from one of those toy little machines and saying, sorry dear, I just thought my money was too precious to waste. I can't spend it on you. I love you, but I just can't spend it on you at the moment. I've got some more important things in my life. And I'm just saying, don't do it. Not, if you ever did that in a relationship, you'd probably be murdered. That's not the point. I'm saying, you love someone, you give yourself to that relationship. Relationships require work. And so, Jesus, I'll put him time, I'll put him $10, that's good, that's enough, at least I'm putting something in. You have to get this, that is not a Christian. Jesus' commands in the Bible that lay out a Christian. Swearing is not a Christian, talking bad about your mum is not a Christian, talking bad about your boss is not a Christian. And it's now you're feeling a bit more guilty, right? I remember hearing a message like this a short while back and I'm thinking, oh, I'm screwed. But we mess up, all the time. We're not perfect, we're, the opposite. We mess up a lot of the time. In the parents of this room, do you know how frustrating it is when your kid doesn't do what you ask? It can be really, really frustrating. But the good thing is God's the exact opposite. We do so much bad things against him. We even, use his name in vain and stuff. That's like calling your parent, we do these things and And God's like, oh, I love you anyway.